Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Glimesh team meeting. I'm your host, Clone18. Tonight, I'll be taking you through a journey of metrics, wins, challenges, and that's it. So let's get started. As a reminder, if you're new here, we do this every Tuesday night. It's called the Glimesh team meeting, and its objective is to really kind of provide a real transparent look into Glimesh, our operations, how we're doing. We cover, not only our metrics, we cover financials, we cover new features, we cover challenges, we cover problems we're having. For anyone who is joining us in Discord, as a reminder, your voice, if you choose to talk, will be broadcast over the internet and recorded and published to YouTube. If you're talking in the chat over on the right-hand side, that message would be transferred over the internet as well and published to YouTube as well, attached to your name. So if you don't consent to that, don't do it. Don't talk. Cool. All right, let's get started. All right, so let's jump into some metrics. We had yet another week. This is the third week in a row where our Discord membership is going down. We didn't grow any this week. We're down 45 Discord members. More than that left, but of course people joined at the same time, so the net difference is 45. Twitter, we saw a pretty slow week as well. We grew 31 users. Reddit, we grew 12. Instagram, 17. Facebook, 12. On the user side, we grew 819, which is less than last week. Last week we had about 1,000. And then our MRR is down about $300 this week. For the support ticket side, we're down 39. That's not necessarily a bad thing, though. Hopefully, it just means that we're solving these problems a little bit easier, or not that many people are having problems. Support tickets isn't really an indicator of success or not. It's just something we want to keep track of. And if we see support tickets going really high, we want to make sure we're providing the right resources to the community. That way they can solve their own problems. So let's just go ahead and dive into the numbers here. So this is not really great. This is not a good thing for us. It's good that we're still going up. It's good that the community still supports us. And I believe, just like everyone else here does, that we have a really bright future ahead of us. But from a business perspective, from our professional perspective, we have to continue to grow these numbers, because this is what will hopefully make or break the platform. We very specifically target social numbers like this because these are the keys to audiences, right? Whenever we have streamers on the platform and we want to bring more viewers in, we got to make sure these numbers are going up. And during the first month or so of launch, and we're just now ending the first month, we weren't focused on social media. We weren't focused on communication. We weren't focused on events because we were so busy just working out the bugs, working out the problems, and that was a necessary evil, right? It got us to where we are now, where you can actually have a consistent, stable stream. But what we risked was this initial growth. So this is a challenge for us, right? This is a problem. But we know what we need to do. We know that we need to refocus our efforts on marketing. We need to refocus our efforts on community engagement and really start to kind of grow these numbers again. So I want to call it out as not only a bad thing, but it's a bad thing that we are focused on, right? It's a bad thing that we're tackling. Just like the bad thing on launch day was we had a couple of bugs. We tackled those bugs, we got through it, and we made progress. So we'll continue to do that. We will start to get these numbers up. We're actually hosting a week full of events this week that we'll talk about in a minute, that hopefully we'll start to see some numbers going up. And so I'm excited for the future, but I do want to make these as transparent as possible. Thankfully, on the graph over here, both of these numbers are still looking good. We are teetering off on user growth, but I think the users who are joining are people who are just kind of left over in our audience that are continuing to want to be a part of it. So, all right, I'll keep moving. So traffic. This is kind of a new slide we added. I adjusted things a little bit. I wanted to show you the previous week in relation to this week. And so I put that up here. So the previous week we had 25.9 thousand unique visitors. And this week we had 20,400 unique visitors. So there was a drop in unique visitors since last week. The same thing for page views. We dropped last week to this week, but our bounce rate and our visit duration is kind of staying in the same. So people are still watching, they're still sticking around, they're not bouncing immediately. There's not something immediately turning them off. It's just we have less audience than we did before. Over here, you can see that Twitter continues to be our leader in social media, but Facebook is very quickly becoming a second runner-up. I've been posting as much as I can to Facebook to try and really start to kind of grow that. I even posted our events over there, so hopefully we'll start to see more traction there. And then we are now working on Instagram specific posts, and then very soon we'll be rolling out TikTok to try and get more of an audience. Over here is our Twitter stats. We are down on tweets. We're still feeling the impression high of the launch week, but then profile visits is down about 9% and mentions are down about 16%. So if anyone is here and you're curious about how you can help, make sure to keep engaging with our social media. Tag us, tweet us, like us, retweet us, whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever you want to actually broadcast to your audience, that kind of helps us. And then bandwidth down here, you can see we are hitting like a very predictable kind of, what am I trying to say? We're hitting a very predictable kind of curvature here. This is the last 7 days. A cadence, yes, thank you. We're hitting a very predictable cadence with the last 7 days being shown here. You can see each of these blips is a day. This is essentially when users wake up and start to stream, and then down here are the viewers of that. And you can see basically that we've got some really good days where there's a bunch of people streaming, and then we have some slower days where not a lot of people are streaming. Now, based on our surveys that we took way early on, that's completely normal. It seems like the streamers who are streaming with us are just doing what they normally do. They're streaming on the nights that they like. They're streaming at the times that they like, and that's perfectly fine. That's a good thing. So we're not seeing any. It is certain days, right? So I think this is 327 right here. This big blip. I had to really zoom in there. And 327 is Friday. Question mark. 327 Saturday. Okay, so this is Saturday, right? There's a lot of people viewing on Saturday. Not so many streamers on Friday. Sunday, of course, is even less. Monday is kind of nothing, but then Tuesday really pumps up again. So, yeah, we're just kind of, we're living it. This is this is exactly what we expected to see for bandwidth, and hopefully this will let us actually plan out servers as we grow. Yeah, I found that, especially with like spring right on the corner for most of us, streamers don't want to stream inside on the weekends, right? They want to go out, have fun, try to get some sun in. Winter has been keeping them in all season, so I think that's perfectly fine, right? That's awesome, but we just want to be able to see that over time.
I don't think that part of the weekend drop. A lot of people that are audience are still have other platforms use those historically bigger nights to stream on their main platform right now as well.
Yeah, if anyone didn't hear Paco, he's basically saying that a lot of people are still streaming on other platforms as well as Glimesh, and so they'll pick out the night that works best for them on certain platforms and then stream here on other nights. All right, I'll keep moving. The financials is the next tab. So I put these together today. We're actually about to have a full month report by Thursday. Thursday will be the first. So we'll actually have a full month of reporting. But this is kind of as close as we can get. You can see on the left-hand side here, our MRR is 9,710. That's our monthly recurring revenue. That is down from last week, but I don't think that's unexpected because our MRR last week was including the time right before we launched where everyone started to really get the platform subs in, and now platform subs are renewing, and we had people cancel those platform subs, and that's perfectly fine. I think that was, we expected about 20% to drop, and so our MMR did drop a little bit, but it was far less than 20%. And then over here, you can actually see that churn rate. It's it's very small. It's at the bottom. It's about 25%. Churn is perfectly normal, right? I was expecting about 30% churn. That's just people who sub once and don't sub again the next month, whether it be to the platform or to the channel. And then over here on the right, we have our Glimesh server budget. This is basically important because this helps us make sure we're spending money wisely. Servers are going to be the largest cost right now. You can see they eat a majority of the budget. Right now we're at about 52% of our revenue goes to paying for servers. Now, thankfully, DigitalOcean has really been friendly to us, and they gave us $10,000 of credit. So we are still using those credits, but the amount here, which is the quote budget, that would be how much we had remaining if we didn't have those credits. So if this number starts to get much lower than this, we do have to really start paying attention to that. Now, in reality, we actually have about $9,000 this month left over. I think right now we have actually $9,000 in the bank, and we've got $4,000 pending in Stripe. The last thing I wanted to mention here on this tab is right now we are overscaled. So our servers, we've got a bunch of them. And we probably have way too many, way more than we need, and we did that because we wanted to make sure that during our alpha, during the first month, we wanted to make sure that there was never a time where the servers were to blame. We wanted to make sure that if a huge amount of people came in and started streaming all of a sudden, they wouldn't have to kind of get egg on our face and have to react after the fact. Now that we know what our traffic is like, now that we know how many streamers stream each day, how many viewers view each day, we're going to actually scale back our servers just a little bit, make sure that everything's comfortable, and hopefully that'll put us in a nicer expense ratio. Right now, we're spending about 50% of our revenue on servers, so we want to move that down to 30 or 40%.
Will scaling those down help us financially?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was trying to read that. Will scaling the servers down help us financially? Yes. So right now we are spending not only we're spending $2,200 on servers and $2,300 on bandwidth. With the optimizations I think we can do, I think we can basically cut infrastructure costs down by about 50%. So that'd be cut in half. And then bandwidth, I think we can cut by a quarter. All right, I'll keep moving. So next slide is super exciting. Like I said, we've got really an exciting, marketing catch up to do. We've really got to start focusing on marketing. I'm starting to spend all of my time on marketing, on events, on anything that brings people to the platform. And this week is really the first of that. We're going to do events next week as well, and the week after, and the week after, and the week after, and the week after. But this week is really we're starting to prove out what events are for us. And now events are hopefully fun, informative, and interactive events, things that keeps you interested in Glimesh, things like the Glimesh University, which teaches you how to stream on Glimesh, how to find new audiences. Meet the GCT, right? That was a way to introduce you to our community team. Hopefully make friends with them, enjoy their presence even more. We're also going to do our first ever streamer hosted event on Thursday, which is 2 days from now, which is the National Burrito Day. So the Bricks is going to cook us all a burrito, which is super exciting. Apparently the burrito is going to have pig head in it, which I don't know how I feel about that, but I mean, if the Bricks likes it, the Bricks cooks it. That's fine. But I think it'll be an awesome stream. We'll have the Bricks will be hosting it on their channel. It'll be an awesome looking burrito. Maybe even blue. Who knows? Maybe hundreds of burritos. 1,000 burritos? Wow, that's a lot. Okay. And you can see that on Thursday. And then on Friday, we've got an exciting stream as well, which is going to be the Glimesh Roundtable. So the Glimesh Roundtable is going to be a chance to get 6 members of our community together, all in the same room, virtually, and talk about the first month of Glimesh. What went well on their streams? What streams did they enjoy watching? What problems did they have? Where do they see the future of Glimesh? And hopefully it'll be a really honest discussion. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So these first events are super are going to be super awesome. I've already enjoyed the 2 that have already happened. We've got 2 more left this week. The way we do it right now, the way we recruit from the community, is we actually post Google surveys. We post that in the announcements channel in Discord and on Twitter. And we have already selected everyone from all of these events so far. So if we didn't reach out to you, unfortunately you weren't selected. For the selections, we have an eligibility criteria. For example, the National Burrito Day, you had to have cooked on Glimesh already. You had to have already had it set up. You had to be available at a specific time, and then we randomly selected a streamer. The roundtable had kind of the same restriction. You had to have already, met a certain criteria, and then we selected people. So we're trying to keep this fair and impartial. We're not trying to, have any kind of favoritism, but we do have to select people to, help host events. And so that brings me to the next topic. The events team is one of our teams here at Glimesh. It's one of the very important jobs that we have to do. Right now, these events are kind of all put together, by that team, by the Glimesh team. But we want to start including more and more community events. And so I think now is a great time where if you have an event, if you have a tournament, if you have something that you're, participating in, or something that you want to share with the world, or something you plan on streaming that's that you'd qualify as an event, definitely reach out to us because we want to start talking about that. We may not be able to support you right now. We may not be able to host that right now. But as we look for ideas, as we look for community events to host, we want to start getting these ideas churning. So keep in mind, don't let us know here today. Let us know in Discord. And then hopefully in the future. Did we ever
get an email?
Oh, I don't think so. No. We've got some more work to do. But where would we reach out to?
Thing that I listed out in here that I think took place before we did all the events for this week. I can just grab like the beginning of it because I kind of made like sort of an outline that's not like a harsh, but just sort of an idea, somewhere to start.
Okay, yeah. Why don't we convert that to a form, and then we can let people submit it. That sound good?
Yeah, Rose, we'll get together later.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, so after this meeting, maybe later tomorrow, we'll have a form or something to submit for any of those ideas, just so we can organize them in one place. Now, I want to lead that with, like, we're not absolutely ready to go ham on all of these community events yet, but we're starting to kind of form an idea of what they look like and how we can repeat them. All right, so I hope to see everyone there. We've got 2 more events coming up this week. One of the coolest things that we did recently, actually, if you want to check it out, it's still like half built, so I apologize. But if you go to the Glimesh homepage, right down here is upcoming events, and it'll actually tell you in your local time how long until that event goes live. So you can keep checking this page, you can refresh it, it'll say live in 2 days, and then once it gets closer, live in an hour, blah, blah. Cool. All right, and then it's half built because it's hard-coded HTML that I have to manually change. Eventually, it'll be an events system, something that other people can do. All right, the next slide is new features. So we were hard at work over the past couple of weeks, and finally the features have kind of come into fruition. We've got 2 major features that we want to announce today. They've already been live for a couple of days, but this is kind of the first public look. The first feature is we actually have subcategories now. So I know a lot of people were getting frustrated with the tag system, with kind of the misunderstanding of it or the use of it. We've spent a lot of effort trying to understand exactly, what we want to accomplish with it, how we want to make things, generic enough to support all of the categories that we have, but specific enough to help you find the right content. And we landed on subcategories. So subcategories are actually different for every major category. So for gaming, for example, the subcategories are games. World of Warcraft, Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, they'll be the game that you're playing. But for music, for example, the subcategory would be the genre. For education, it would be the topic. So hopefully this will allow each of our categories to really shine. And then once we continue to grow the subcategory system, it could be even ways of recommending content to you, or landing pages that we use for marketing content. And then the second major feature we launched is a improved mobile design. So it's not perfect yet. We still have work to do, but the mobile experience before was kind of awful. Everything was very large and it was hard to navigate. And so we spent some time making the mobile a little bit more optimized. You can actually click on this little button here, which I can hardly show you, which will actually, let me just do a live demo. Hold on. Live demo. So on mobile, quote unquote, now you get an experience kind of like this, where you visit the homepage and then you've got everything kind of heading downward for you. And then you can actually click on this little button, which will take you right to our categories. And then once you click on gaming, for example, you're presented with the nice, beautiful pictures as large as they can possibly be. If you wanted to filter by a specific game, you can do that as well, and it'll show you that game. And then once you click on a stream, and I will pick on someone I know. Okay. I don't know these people. That's a problem.
Who are all these strangers?
Who are all these people? All right, like this one. Yeah, Minecraft. So if you click on the stream, you can actually see the videos up here, the chat's down here, and so you can see them both at the same time. We made the topic a little bit smaller. It works a little bit better. And then now, of course, the next feature is that whenever you're on mobile and you type here, whenever you click the chat message icon, it pops the screen up, makes it a little bit more difficult to use. So we'll hopefully fix that as well. The next feature we launched, which I should have just left that open. Let me just reopen that. Okay, well, I closed it. So the next feature we launched, I want to show off too, just because it's going to be helpful. Whenever you are viewing streams now, we had this issue before where you'd visit a stream, and if there were any kind of networking issues, it would pause the video, and then it would show the user's offline screen. So it would show that this person is offline. Oh boy, my bad. Now we made it so it actually shows a thumbnail of the stream. That way you know they're still online. And then if there's any kind of packet loss, any kind of issues that prevent the video from being displayed, it shows a yellow message under here. That way you know there's a problem and you don't leave the stream. Burrito, come on. You don't leave the stream and you actually stick around, make sure that the stream's working. And then we finally added debug information down here, where if you're ever having issues with the stream, we'll tell you to open this so we can grab some details out of it. So all in all, we're trying to improve that viewer experience. We're trying to make it so things aren't awkward whenever there's issues with the stream. It'll actually keep you there. It'll keep you engaged with the content. If you're constantly getting the yellow message, then there's a problem viewing your video, right? We've had a lot of people have issues with streaming and viewing the stream at the same time. It's always worth checking out maybe a second computer, or maybe asking one of your friends, do they see the yellow message? For some internet connections, it can be hard doing the fast-paced, real-time video that FTL has. Even if you have fiber, it doesn't matter. We've had a lot of internet providers who, even though they have a fiber connection, they give you a really crappy modem, or the fiber is like cut somewhere down the line, which I don't even think can happen. But there's been a lot of issues, and we've generally found that if the message shows up, there is some kind of network issue. And then the last thing is we are really trying to fix the chat scrolling bug. We've put as much effort as we could into it, and we're going to continue to do that. Hopefully, chat scrolling is working a lot better now. We rolled that out about a week ago, and now chat scrolling is working for me during this stream, but I definitely seen issues where it doesn't scroll. You can help, hopefully, if you encounter chat scrolling bugs. Let us know exactly what you were doing. Anything you can do to help us figure out how to reproduce it, that'll help us fix it. But see, I'm not signed in. It's working fine. All right. Whoa. Okay. Let's move on. Then the next slide here is our challenges. So the first challenge is growth, right? We talked about this at the beginning of the meeting. Right now, week over week, we're going down on our visitors count and down on our users count. But we know that. We're aware of that. We're going to do everything in our power to fix that. We're not expecting ginormous. We're not expecting ginormous growth overnight. We don't want to, immediately double and immediately double and immediately double again. But we want to make sure that number is going up. We want new people to find out about us and find a reason to stick around. So growth is an issue. The second challenge is we've had a lot of just seemingly useless DDoSes. And there's actually been 2 now so far, along with a very minor DOS on day 1 that we've had, where people just are spamming our servers with tons of different countries and IP addresses, and they're not really doing anything in particular. They're just trying to hit the homepage or a blog or something, but it's causing issues with the site, of course, because that's what they're meant to do. And it's causing me to have to spend time to block them and use Cloudflare to our advantage. As far as I can tell, we haven't done anything wrong. That doesn't necessarily mean that we have to do anything wrong for people to DDoS us. Sometimes they're just targeting a streamer. But one of the good pieces of news I wanted to share is DDoSes are actually kind of good. I don't want anyone to DDoS us. If you do DDoS us, you're absolutely breaking the law. Well, at least in the US you are. But DDoSes are good because they help us optimize and prepare for scale, right? I think this type of traffic right here, getting 2 million requests in the span of 30 minutes, if we can get to a point where we can handle 2 million requests in 30 minutes, that's actually going to help us scale. That's going to help us make sure that when a giant person on Twitter tweets our link, it doesn't take the site down because we have too much traffic. If we can optimize our infrastructure and our servers for this level of traffic, we'll be able to hopefully make sure that no matter how large we get, we can continue to scale along. We're not scaling down the servers that are being attacked by the DDoS. The DDoS has just been focused on the web servers, which is generally how they will be.
Hi, Grandma.
What? All right, I'm going to keep moving. And then we've got some persistent bugs that keep sticking around. Things like chat scrolling, things like streams going offline, streams not showing as live. We're continuing to focus on those. We're trying to get them fixed up. All right, and then the next thing I want to talk about is what's next. So, now that we've entered, now that we've finished phase 1, we're in the alpha. What's phase 2, right? How do we get there? So one of the things that we want to do is make sure we're focused on the right thing. The most important thing you could do in product, whenever you're developing a product, is talk to your users, right? And that's why it's so important for us to have this community fellowship that we have, is because you're the people who use the platform. How can we help you, right? How can we deliver you new features? How can we build the best streaming site that you want? And really that just comes from talking to the users. So one of the things we want to do is actually do a survey soon. we need a couple of surveys, right? We need surveys to people that use this every day. We need surveys to people who don't use this every day. And one of the things that we want to learn from is for streamers who streamed earlier this month, 2 weeks ago, but not this past week. Why? Were you having problems streaming? Were there technical issues? Were there features that were missing? Was there some bad experience you had? What makes you not want to stream one week and stream the next? And we need to start asking those questions because we really want to learn from our users, both existing and non-existing, what's the most important for them. The channels like suggestions and questions, those really help us determine those right features. But asking our users who don't use us anymore why they stopped using us can help us even more. I don't want to say even more, can help us just as well. And then we want to use that feedback not only from those surveys but from the users to actually help prioritize phase 2 features. So here in a couple of weeks, you're actually going to see this roadmap change. We're going to reprioritize these issues. We're going to focus in on what's important to the users and what we can do right now, and hopefully come out of it with a revised phase 2, hopefully phase 3. All right. I think that's it. And as always, we're here to support you. Email support@Glimesh if you have any issues. We'd love to help. Check out the support site for resources, guides, and FAQs. We now have a Glimesh University that's every Monday where you can learn in real time how to stream on Glimesh, how to be successful. And then visit our Discord, right? Interact with our Discord. We don't have a Guilded. Sorry, we just have a Discord. But that's really a good place to interact with all of us. It's all of us in the same place. We're all interacting together. Sorry, that's all I got. Yes, all of our events, or at least all of them that we get some good stuff out of, we're actually going to post their VODs on YouTube. That way you can watch it after the fact. It takes a little bit of time to get them prepared, but we definitely want to do that. All right. So what we'll do next here, I know there's a bunch of questions. We're actually going to end the recording. So thank you everyone on YouTube who stuck through this video.
You made it.
And then we're going to stick around for a couple more minutes here in the live stream and actually answer questions. Thank you, YouTube.
Promised us a 3-hour stream.
Paco, well, yeah, but not a 3-hour recording. Bye.